So this is where we begin. So we have, as we said, we have the skilled trades. We have individuals entering the workforce in the next 10 years, over 500,000 of them, and we're trying to merge those two together. Next slide. So we have lots of programs. We have Career Track program, which is specifically for ages 18 through 30. And that is really if somebody has decided that they really want to hone in on a specific trade and they want to get employment in that trade. But how do they know if they would like to do that if they've never even been able to experience that before? So that's where the camps come in. We have camps and we also have workshops. We have our Career Track program and then we have what we call workshops. And camps fits in our workshop bucket. And workshops are anything from drop-in classes that you can do on the weekends to individual lessons to camps that we run. We also have a mobile program where we go out to different places and teach a variety of trades. So we could do 6-week trainings on a bunch of different trades for our community partners. We could do 8-week trainings. We can pretty much make our program fit your client's needs or your family's needs, but we don't go to individual homes, but we do go to other community partners if that is more accessible. We also do special projects in our camps. So some examples of camps would be carpentry camp, auto mechanics, welding, electrical, STEM, robotics, 3D printing, fiber arts, which is like sewing, knitting, weaving, special projects like these skateboards that they built together. We could build dog houses. The possibilities are kind of endless, and we're pretty full on most of our camps. Next slide. So what else are you gaining when you're at TACT? So yes, the goal is employment long-term, but as I said, we start young as 5 for our workshop program. And why are we doing that? Well, we're doing that because we want them to get used to the sounds, used to the textures, used to the tools, used to the environment, and they have all these motor skills that they're working on. They're working on fine motor, they're working on gross motor, they're working on social communication, they're working on frustration tolerance, they're working on executive functioning. All of this is happening while they're learning a really marketable skill, but it's happening in an organic environment. So it's not like they are 16 and about to fall off that cliff and no one knows what's going to happen. This is something that's organically happened throughout their childhood, and they've just like it used to be, where it would be organically taught by the family. That's what TACT is trying to do, is start it young and teach them these skills young, so that by the time they are ready to be employed, they have a whole plethora of background information and skills that are available to be used. And I think that's it. We do have funding through lots of different means. I work really hard. It's a big personal mission of mine to keep the cost of families low. I did just apply for a grant through Developmental Pathways for some of our camps and our workshops. So hopefully I get that. But we also have Douglas County mill levy funding, and we have funding through lots of private foundations. So as I said, we try to keep the costs really minimal to families. Next slide. That's it. Any questions?
That was great. Thanks, Becky. We aren't taking any questions. Please feel free to drop those in the chat. Allison will bring those up at the end of our presentations. So just hang tight, presenters, and we will be going on to the Traveling Gnomes next. Traveling Gnomes, that is Jenna Cordesius.
Cordation. So close. Hi, awesome. Well, thanks. First, I just wanted to say thank you so much to Developmental Pathways for putting on this virtual resource fair. It is so amazing to see all the other programs and organizations thinking so creatively and adapting and adjusting during this time. So I'm excited to learn more throughout the day as well. Like I said, my name is Jenna Cordatius, and I am the director of the Traveling Gnomes, which is a program that provides different travel opportunities for teens and adults with neurodiversities. While we're sad to have postponed all of our out-of-state and international overnight trips, we're really excited to be offering in-person extended day road trips around Colorado. We welcome new and returning travelers of all abilities, ages 16 and up. Through each adventure, we're really advocating for accessibility while providing an inclusive experience that really fits each traveler's needs. we have been exploring new destinations, and we really challenge each road tripper to step outside of their comfort zone and kind of their day-to-day routine, and participate in different staff-led activities, experiences, classes throughout the day. And then at the same time, we're really working on real life skills. So skills like navigating new communities, understanding what diversity and inclusion looks like, practicing self-advocacy and self-care. If you've ever been on a road trip, you know things probably don't really go as planned 100% of the time. So we're really enhancing problem-solving skills in real situations, while also encouraging social skills and relationship development, really creating lifelong friendships along the way as well. We've been offering this service since June, which has been really great. We've hiked, we've picnicked, we've swam outdoors through our summer series of road trips, and we are currently in the middle of our fall series, which has been September through October. And I'm really excited that we'll be announcing and continuing a winter series, which will be November, kind of broken up November and December, and then January through March. Our road trips have been every Friday and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., where we've had a drop-off location in the Littleton, drop-off and pickup location in the Littleton area. Our winter series will also be every Friday and Saturday, excluding a couple of days just during the holidays. We're going to be shortening the time just a little bit, and we're hoping to provide 2 different pickup and drop-off locations for folks that are on the south side of town and folks that are on the north side of town. During each trip, we're strongly encouraging social distancing, washing our hands every 30 minutes. Everybody's required to wear a mask the entire time. We do encourage mask breaks though, away from the group. We're following all CDC recommendations for vehicles and doing our vehicle disinfecting as well. Space is extremely limited because we are keeping our groups to 10 travelers, which includes our staff as well. So what that looks like is 7 participants or travelers and 3 staff, and we're taking 3 different vehicles on these road trips. We have had luck utilizing the SLS, DD, and CES waiver to cover the cost of these trips, in addition to private pay. Honestly, we're really just happy to work with our travelers and our families to make these trips as accessible as possible. And it's really just individualized to ensure that all the right supports are in place to set the traveler up for success. So stay tuned for our winter series. Our fall series is ending this October, and it's pretty much full, but we'll be launching our winter series really soon. So keep an eye out on our website, and happy to answer any questions. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Jenna. I'm going to invite everyone, all the presenters back. Those that are kind of tuning in, feel free to drop any questions in the chat for any of the presenters that went on. We had Denver Behavior Consultants with Carrie, TACT from Becky Mershon, and the Traveling Gnomes that Jenna just presented. Real quick question. Could you guys talk a little bit more about like potentially funding for people that want to join your camp? Start whoever wants to go first.
Sure, I'll go first. Oh, my thing is off. Can you see me now? Okay.
Yes.
So you would just contact me, and I'm kind of the main contact. I do like a whole Tetris funding stream. And so, you know, everything is individualized based on your particular situation. We are a PASA for supported employment, which really probably does not cover camps, but we do, as I said, have funding through lots of foundations, and also through Douglas County Mill Levy. And as I just mentioned, trying to get funding through developmental pathways for camps. So you would just contact me and we would go through that together and find a way to make it work.
Yeah, for Denver Behavior Consultants, as far as our groups, we again partner with Developmental Pathways to offer some of that funding through community support or community outreach and family support services. So we can access that. We're, like I said, we were working on becoming an insurance provider and are in the midst of that. And then we do accept private pay. And I feel like we keep our rates very low to be able to support families as much as possible. We're partnering as well with the recreation centers. So we are utilizing their space as opposed to having to go out and find a different space. And so we've also been able to keep our costs pretty low with partnering with those recreation centers. But feel free to reach out to me as well. I will do my best to kind of figure out what we can work out as far as funding and supporting a family as much as we can.
And then with the traveling gnomes, like I said, we have had luck utilizing the SLSDD and CES waiver to cover the cost of these trips, using supported community connector units and mileage band, and also private pay. But again, we're really happy to just work with the families and the travelers to make these road trips accessible for everyone.
That's great. Thanks so much. People that are joining us now, we're finishing up our camp session. Drop your questions in the chat. And Allison Belding, I believe, has a question for the providers. Allison, unmute.
Sorry about that. Yes, I wanted just to see, do you guys have any Spanish-speaking employees, or how would you gear towards that specifically?
We do have a Spanish-speaking employee here at TACT, and then we also have an interpreter service that we can use.
And same with us, we use interpreter services. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody on staff, but we can definitely access interpreters for a wide variety of languages.
Same with us. We don't have anybody currently on staff, but we can definitely set something up to ensure that we can make that happen.
Great. Thank you so much for answering those questions. If there's Is there any other questions that attendees might have, or any wrap-up statements from any of the providers presenting?
No, just thank you so much for putting this on, and we're excited to see you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Thank you. This has been great. It's nice to be able to let families know what services we have out there, and I know it's tough to do these in person, so it's great to be able to do these remotely. And feel free to just check out our website. We have a lot of information about our services, and you can get in touch with us. We have all of our class information on our website as well, denverbehaviorconsultants.com.
Thank you so much.
Great. Yes, and all of the slides and any downloads or brochures that the presenters had presented on are on our landing page that went out with the email. It should be accessible, but it's virtual resource fair. If you need a question or if you can't find that link, please feel free to drop that question in the chat. We'll catch back with you. That does conclude our first session on CAMS. I will let the presenters go. You're welcome to join us in our next session, which starts at 11:30, and we'll be talking about therapy.
Andrew, I just have one more thing I forgot to say.
Sure.
But the grant I did just apply for with Developmental Pathways, it will be open to individuals of all IDDs, so not just autism. Through COVID, we were asked by a lot of the IDD community to provide some virtual instruction, which worked really well. So we also have virtual and on-site. And if we get the grant, then it would be open to all individuals with all different types of IDD.
Very cool. Thank you so much for sharing. Thanks, Allison, for dropping that into the chat. Presenters, you're welcome to hang out with us. You can exit out and come back as an attendee. Those links are live, so feel free to do that. For those that are signing in, I will be presenting in the next session for therapy. I will be promoting you over to panelists, and you'll see yourself a little wheel come up, and that just means that you're switching over so you can present at our next session. Those that are watching, hang tight. We'll be back at about 11:30, and we'll chat with you folks soon.